This is Jamie Dyer welcoming you to another edition of the Quo-Cast. And just as Quo have potentially played their last gig ever, their back catalogue is being sifted through and reissued. But I know what you're thinking. There have been thousands of this, Jamie. What could you possibly have to talk about that is different in this? We've had the Pi compilations, we've had unofficial and official selections of songs, hits, rarities, albums, reissues, deluxe editions, all kinds of stuff. But this one in particular really caught my eye, and it's coming out on the 29th of November 2024 on a subsidiary of Cherry Red Records, who have previously released material by John Coghlan, Bob Young, and Andy Bowen. And it's from a subsidiary of theirs called Explore Rights Management. That's the name that I could see, and they're connected. And you can go onto the Cherry Red Records website and pre-order this. It's called Driving to Glory, and it's a collection of songs recorded by Quo, as it was then, in the late 90s, early 2000s. So from about 1998 up until like 2004, I would say, judging by the recordings there. It's being released on vinyl, on 12-inch with a reduced track listing, plus CD with around 14 tracks on it. So let me read you the track listing of the CD and then the vinyl. So we have Driving to Glory, Analyze Time, Fighting with the Pack, Obstruction Day, Famous in the Last Century, full version, You Let Me Down, Money Don't Matter, The Madness, Don't Bring Me Down, You'll Come Round, Thinking of You, Lucinda, and then re-recordings, 2 re-recordings, Whatever You Want, new version recorded in 1998, and issued on the In the Army Now maxi single in Germany, and also Don't Waste My Time from the same year, also released there. Now, all of these tracks are either B-sides, or in the case of Don't Bring Me Down and Money Don't Matter, were UK exclusives. So, yeah, they're just stuff from those sessions. And what is so interesting about this CD selection here is that yeah, okay, some of them have been included on like deluxe editions and stuff, but Obstruction Day and Fighting with the Pack should be on Under the Influence, and I feel like both of them are not. Something to do with the difference in sessions, one being an album session and one being another time, and so they just have never been included. So for those to be there for the first time in years, at least one of them is on the Quo in Time box set. But the thing is, to have all of them here from this period, all your little B-sides and all your exclusive tracks on one album, is pretty good. The vinyl is, as I say, a reduced track listing. We have Driving to Glory, Analyze Time, Fighting with the Pack, Obstruction Day, Famous in the Last Century, full version, and then Whatever You Want, Don't Waste My Time. Like I say, it's been slimmed down to fit on. Now, if you want my opinion, then I think they've wasted a bit of an opportunity with the vinyl, because side B has got that Famous in the Last Century and then the 2 re-recordings. I don't think that's going to get played very much. I also question, what is the Famous in the Last Century full version? Because on the album, you have sort of a 1-minute thing at the beginning, and then you have like a reprise at the end. And they are different. They've got different lyrics, but I can't see how one kind of leads into the other, or vice versa. Is it an anniversary waltz type thing where they've like cut the middle of one and like one is the beginning? I don't know. Or maybe there is a completely other version out there. That puzzled me slightly, and its inclusion is a little bit odd, but I'm sure there is an explanation for it, such as it being perhaps on a release in another country. Maybe it's been on a compilation at some point. The other thing to say about this as well is the majority of these tracks, if not all of them, have been produced by Mike Paxman, who is overseeing this album. It's backed by the band as well. the front cover is sort of like a CGI artwork image of a car with flames and kind of the sun. It's to show the driving to glory. At first, I didn't like it very much. It looked kind of cheap, but then I guess the thing is, this is a different label, like different thinking, and a little bit like we saw with the 60s box set earlier this year. Taking a song and trying to visualize it does work in some cases. And I'm sure blown up, on a vinyl sleeve, that's going to look really good as well. So yeah, what do you think of this compilation, Driving to Glory? I think it's really nice to have all of these things in one place, because a lot of them were only available as like single B-sides back in the day, CD1, CD2, different tracks. There are tracks missing. I mean, they recorded Pictures of Matchstick Men around this point, a re-recording for a single. There are also the cover versions, but the thing is, these have been included on deluxe editions and stuff to make this kind of the rare package that it is, and more desirable. I like how I assume Mike Paxman has been behind picking the track listing here. I like the way that they've gone for, there's a couple of the singles in there, like Thinking of You, You'll Come Round, and then the re-recordings, I guess. And then we've gone for just the stuff that's been really hard to get hold of in a more solid form for many years. I guess as well, going back to Famous in the Last Century, it kind of cuts in two, doesn't it? Because you have Famous in the Last Century in the middle of there for 2000 to kind of show the two different lineups, because after that, it's not Jeff on drums anymore, it's Matt. So, maybe that does it. But those are just my sort of thoughts on it. Will you be picking this up? I think I might. At some point, a week after this comes out, my birthday is happening, my 35th birthday. I'm 35 this year. And I will either pick it up, or I might hint to some family members like, hey, I've got this album. I know it's Status Quo. And I've got a lot of albums up there, but this is different and actually pretty cool. So once again, will you be picking up Driving to Glory, a new compilation, new in inverted commas, by Status Quo on this Cherry Red Records subsidiary, available to pre-order now. I'll leave the link in the description below and all the show notes and everything. From the 29th of November 2024, it's available. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and I'll see you again for another episode of the Quo-Cast.